So I had a comment yesterday asking why there's not constant videos of the Golf or the luxury car. However, unfortunately, events have occurred that have not enabled me to put videos out. Sitting here with a bricked computer effectively, the all-in-one water cooling loop failed on me the other day. So that's where I've been, that's why I've not been making any videos, that's why there's been no content, no updates, no nothing. I can't really do much with no computer. So today, as it's payday, we've picked up a new air cooler. I'm kind of going to skip water cooling. Although this has been in the computer for 4 years, when it goes bad, it's just so annoying. It always happens like a week before payday. You've got no money. You can't just source a new cooler just like that. They are still quite expensive. So we know that the Mercedes S500 is a non-runner. It doesn't start at the moment. I've never heard it run. It was delivered to me. So we have some things in here that will enable us to start the engine for the first time. So that'll be really interesting to see what we're dealing with there. And there's also something on the back that you saw in the previous video that's a little bit out there. So we'll leave that for the rest of this video. And we also have some little Golf things here that will just look really nice on the Golf, so I bought them. What else do we have? So we've got the alloys. I'm yet to touch wood. All of the alloy videos are currently, they were being rendered. So hopefully the CPU is not bricked, and change out the water cooling, and should be able to continue editing those videos. So they're all on there, they're all on the car. I'm not sure which order I'm going to put them in. So we have that little update. So I've got the key here. The alarm doesn't work. That's quite clear. Turn the key in the ignition. That also doesn't work. So we might have a dead battery. So we need to kind of get to the bottom of why the key won't turn in the ignition. Could be the ignition valve itself, or it could just be as simple as a dead battery. In the rear is where the battery is located. We're going to connect black to black and red to red. Probably is a way of doing it properly, but I don't know it, so let's just see what happens. It's going to be difficult with one hand. So let me just turn this on. Is there a way of turning it on? Is that working? So we're inside the car, and the key just doesn't turn at all. It doesn't move to the next ignition point. So okay, there's a little button here that I needed to press, and now that battery's charging. We've got lights in the cabin. Oh, did have lights in the cabin. Okay, now that's not working. Let me go and try and do what I just did and then start the car real quick. few errors, but that's probably from the battery being dead for so long, so I'm not too worried about that. I do want to give it a rev. I know it's cold. Should we just give it a little tap? Just a little... Oh, it doesn't sound... Oh. This is a 5 litre V8. Should we just put the window down just a little bit? Oh, they don't work. Maybe the battery's too low still. Let's have the door open then. You ready for this? Oh, that sounds lovely. Oh. I do want to just move it forward a tiny bit, just so I can get behind the car. As always, if you've enjoyed watching, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification so you can be notified when we next upload a video. Here we are. It works. I think we might have some battery issues. We have a lot of errors on the dash. However, it sounds awesome. It still revs, and I've moved it about 3 foot. So we know that it can run under its own power. The battery, like jump starter thing, is here in the box, so we know that as it stands it's currently working. Will it work on a cold day? Probably not. I think the battery's on its last legs or extremely low, and unfortunately we don't have enough fuel to keep this going for too much longer. I can't get the errors off this screen. Oh, I can. Stand by. So other than the 4 malfunctions, which I think will clear themselves after a while, we have 9 miles left. Windscreen wipers work. So I'll just keep it idling for another 5 minutes, and then hope tomorrow, or a day where it's a little bit sunnier than today, we can start working on it, put some fuel in it, and just see how it acts. But this is the first time it's started in a good few months, I'd say, at least 4 or 5 months. And there's a very weird fragrance in here. Unsure what that might be. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it, or the dislike button if you did not. I'll catch you then. See you in a bit. No one's coming for car videos, however some people might be interested in what I've picked up. How I'm going to be calling the PC. I'm going to be using the Noctua NHD-S. I've had a Noctua NHD-14 for years in a previous build, not this one, to the point that I've still got some of the old fans. Although they look interesting, they're not very aesthetic, but Noctua prefer performance over design, or aesthetic design if you will. But this fan is about 8 years old, and is still quieter than you know, other fans I've got in the system.